What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Téagé pack. Téagé makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Téagé Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Téagé Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Téagé Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Téagé Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Téagé pack. Feel the Téagé, my friends. What up? What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. It is Monday, December 11th, 2023, year of our Lord. It's been a year. It's been a ride. And we got more coming up next year. And this year, did y'all like the live streams that I did over the weekend on the Anton Daniels channel? For those of you that are not subscribed to the Anton Daniels channel, which is completely separate from the Millionaire Morning Show, I know that it works a little bit differently for my friends over there on Facebook. Consider subscribing, right? I know it's different. It might be a little bit different. And then we got After Hours with Anton Daniels, which launches in the beginning of the year. So that's going to be absolutely a hoot. I mean, I'm going to say things on there that I can't say on here. And for those of you that are familiar with how it is that we've been doing things in my journey, and you just now discovering me, or you've been here for a while, you know that this channel originally was the original After Hours. Yes, this channel was After Hours, and I moved back into corporate, and we made the show the morning show because it started being more about money than it was about the things that we was talking about in popular culture. But After Hours was wild. Some of your YouTubers that you follow and discover today actually made their debut over on After Hours. So we've repurposed what was Fight Club over into being After Hours. And it'll probably be a lot more like the weekend live stream, Enos, that we did over the weekend, except for it won't be in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty cool. A lot of people enjoyed it. You know, I'm testing out different theories and concepts. Everything always starts at the Anton Daniels channel. Whatever new, and then it develops into what it's going to be, and sometimes we turn it into a completely different channel. So I have a way in which I go about doing things, and I thought that the live streams over the weekend was awesome, and it seems like the people really enjoyed it. Make sure you guys tune into the live stream tonight for Q's show on the Anton Daniels channel. That is going to be crazy. That is going to be crazy. I see you, WML Motivation. Yeah. All right, we got a full show lined up for y'all today. So we're going to get into it. But before I do so, let me get a general idea of how y'all feeling inside of the chat this morning. How y'all feeling in the chat this morning before I get to the super chats, before we do some housekeeping, and then we get into quick hits? One word. It's December 11th. We're actually trending towards having the best year of my entire life. I hope similarly to you guys. You guys are also on that also. How you guys feeling? A lot of changes. A lot of stuff that we didn't even know was going to be happening throughout the year. Nita B says, bless. Shout out to Nita B TV. More money, productive, cold, great, focused. Blessed, got a cold, you get over it, alive, bear down, Anton, grinding, restored, celebrating, splendid, good, grateful, motivated, feeling awesome, okay. Had an amazing weekend, good, balanced. Shout out to Mr. Lott. Larry Walker says, splendid. My dog True says, feeling also, even though you aggravated your broke thumb. Oh, man. Solid, excellent, done with child support. Let me get a round of applause for that. Lifted and motivated, abundant, focused, okay, chilling, glorious, godly. I like that. Very married, hot, 75 degrees in Florida. I'll be down there shortly. Up, disappointed. What you disappointed with, Marcella? Stagnant, accomplished, bag chasers is up. That's a fact, though. Restored. Shout out to Kristen. Carlos says, great. Good morning. AD in the chat says, L. Good, stronger. Good morning. My girl, Brittany B. I'm going to kick it with you in a minute. Done with CS. Raining outside, 67 and still learning. I love that. Great. Yeah. Motivated, blessed, great, grinding, nothing to complain about, motivated, maintaining. Okay, Spaces, you in a better space than you have been over the past few weekends. I like that because I'm in tune with my people. Danielle says motivated. Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Resilient. Good morning, Vanessa. D. Guy Saw said I'm at work. Jessica said morning, I'm home and better. Refreshed, ready, optimistic, slumped. Cardi B is single. Yeah, we're going to address that. What up, Connie? You said you stressed? Surviving a tornado in Clarksville, Tennessee. Lions took that L. Yeah. It was a rough weekend for the Lions. But we're going to get there. All right, so again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. First and foremost, we want to give a shout out to Téagé Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Téagé is always making sure that they take care of us over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. And I would love for you guys to enjoy what Téagé has to offer also. They're offering 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I would suggest that my ladies absolutely, positively get your friends, your family, and certainly your man, Téagé Hanley. That link is in the description. Make sure you're not rocking out with no other Téagé Hanley product except for ours. But also on top of that, fellas, you shouldn't be waiting for the ladies to get you a Téagé Hanley. Get your Téagé Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We love it. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly, but I've also would love for you guys to subscribe to the Patreon. I'm pivoting. I got a sales video that I'm releasing, but I also have a end of the year video that I want to use that somebody requested from me for the Chasers in order to make sure that I empower you guys and help you guys out because I think that we had a great year. We had a lot of meetups. It was a lot of awesomeness, a lot of exclusives. Things are really happening for the Chasers. A lot of people are doubling their income. Other people are now starting to get into investments. And then, as I continue to build out my properties, I will give you guys the updates on land development, right? And so we're going to go from there. So I would invite you guys to join a group of people that hopefully is going in the direction that you would love to go in. Make sure you tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos. And make sure that you roll out with the Téagé Hanley pack along with the Chasers. So the bag Chasers is on Patreon. Again, that link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with us. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? First and foremost, I want to make sure that I acknowledge the people that supported the platform before we even started to get popping with the platform. Gotta give a shout out to my guy, Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude. I got to give you a round of applause, big dog. Thank you, my friend, for supporting the platform. Also, got some early super chatters we want to bust through real quick. My dog, Jay Ben, is in the building, says, what a weekend. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to Charleston White for giving folks their flowers and using the Montgomery Brawl props on set. Shout out to C. I appreciate you, Jay Ben. Mike Jones is in the building with the 20 ball, says, Good morning, Anton. Let me get this straight. The Bears beat the number 1 team in the NFC. The Lions? Anton, what happened, fam? My Bears getting cooked when they want to. They can cook when they want to. I agree with you. I was out recording a video and then I stopped and I watched a little bit of the game, but I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and turn this off because I don't like what's happening. Shout out to Mike Jones in the building. I appreciate you, big dog. Sportsaholic Gerard. Oh, y'all all gonna just pile on in today, huh? Says Anton, we saved you a space on the front pew. Y'all gonna hold me accountable? All right, I'll take it. I'll take my L's. Lions get tamed by the Bears. Oh my, just joined the Bag Chasers and I'm feeling oh so fly. Shout out to Sportsaholic and all of the new Chasers. If y'all not a part of the Chasers, the link is in the description. Also says all that pandering Disney's been doing for women lately, but now they're being sued by 9,000 women for pay discrimination. The math is not meant. Send that to me in my email. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. Send that to my email. I need to see that so we can bring Disney to the front of the congregation tomorrow. Emperor Kojak says the birthday emperor is here. Shout out to Kojak. A lot of people don't know that I've known Kojak since 1996. 1996 is when I knew Kojak. Yes, I did. I met Kojak at Cass Technical High School, and he has been rolling and rocking out with me, and he will tell you that Anton is the realest. I've been the same since I was back in high school. It's the same as I am today at 41 years old. Can we get a round of applause and hold down that 777 for my dog Kojak, one of the realest that they are, and he has been holding me down for a long time. My girl Brittany B is in the building, says, I'm hoping for the investigative journalism, Anton. Good morning and happy Monday. Happy B-Day, Kojak. Everybody love Kojak. Everybody love Kojak. Shout out to Brittany B for the love. Also, Patty Jackson says, what about them Bears though? Oh my God. I knew all of the Chicagoans was going to come out for this live stream today. Chris J says, good morning, Chasers. No Houston slander. We're gonna talk about Houston. And then I got my dog, Life with KP, says, hey, morning, Anton. How can a Chaser get a coaching call? Listen, just stay on me on emails. We working through everybody that's on the list, and I'm making sure that I'm adding y'all in the coaching calls going into the new year. I'm on Rita's head top for that. I promise you. So just stay on top of the emails. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and then let me know that you're a Chaser. And then I'm going to prioritize you, all right? Shout out to you. Shout out to KP. Thank you for the question. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and get started with the show, ladies and gentlemen. And you know how we start off the show. Oh, no, I don't want to do it like that. There we go. Quick hits. Quick hits, ladies and gentlemen, is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think deserve a whole segment, but we definitely want to keep you in the loop of what's going on across the United States of America. First on the list is this young lady here. And forgive me for not actually knowing her name. Hold on, let me make sure I get this together. Forgive me for not knowing her name, but apparently she decided to set fire to the home known as Martin Luther King's former home. I believe that's down in Georgia. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
A danger to the community and a potential flight risk. That's what a judge had to say about the woman arrested for attempting to set Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home on fire. She denied Lanisha Henderson bail, saying she's afraid she might do something similar again.
Ms. Henderson, I did not set a bond in your case today.
Fulton County Magistrate Judge Holly Hughes denied 26-year-old Lanisha Henderson bond Saturday. Hughes gave two reasons for doing it. First, that Henderson doesn't live in Georgia.
She gave an address in a different state, so I find that there is a likelihood that she may not return to court.
Second was the shocking nature of the crime.
Look how small this little girl is. Let me back up for a minute. I just want to make sure that we I know this is quick hits, but look how tiny this little girl is. Tiny and deadly. Tiny but deadly.
Second was the shocking nature of the crime.
I'm extremely concerned about the randomness seem to be any reason or tie to that particular location. And I do believe that based on that alone, given the complete and utter randomness that she does pose a danger, I think we all know that this is on video. So, you know, you clearly see what she's doing. The entire thing has been recorded. And she did not want to stop what she was doing.
Wasn't even big enough to hold up the gas can.
For today, she will remain in a no-bond status until we have some further information to go forward on. Okay, I do believe that this act would have been completed, but for some citizens jumping in to stop it. And I am leaving her in a no-bond status today as a danger to the community and the community's property.
This video shows Henderson dousing the birthplace of Martin Luther King Jr. with gasoline before trying to light it on fire. This video shows 2 retired New York City police officers and their also brothers who sprang into action.
So I looked to my brother and I said, let's go get him. So we jumped back in our rental red Tesla and chased her down the street. And we saw her trying to run behind a house. We jumped out the car, we chased her behind the home, and we was able to pin her down and apprehend her behind the house.
King said,
Nothing like a bunch of good black men to come to the rescue from what is a young, small, petite black woman that decided that she wanted to burn down what we would regard as history, a legacy that is often defined and supported by the people, and it takes strong men to spring into action in order to save the legacy in the house of Martin Luther King the Jr. And it says she was charged with attempting to burn down a home. 2 off-duty New York City police officers and 2 Utah tourists are being credited with helping to stop the intentional burning of what Atlanta Police Chief Darren describes as a jewel of the city. Rushed to Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home in Atlanta just after 5:45 p.m. Thursday after reports of vandalism in progress. 2 tourists from Utah saw the woman dousing a plant's porch and the front door of the home with what smelled like gasoline. Bystanders told officers they intervened when they tried to see her ignite a lighter. Meanwhile, the off-duty NYPD officers visiting the area were able to detain the woman until APD officers arrived at the scene. A video shared showed that she was being on the ground detained by the officers. Name of the woman was released early Friday morning. 26-year-old Chantrice Henderson being charged with arson in the second degree and interfering with government property. She's been booked into the Fulton County Jail, and this is her picture. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a 26-year-old young black woman, again, I tell you, it's your own people. It's your own people that is going to burn down the structures that mean the most to you. As far as the leaders of yesteryear that then are doing the things that are in our best interest, all right? In addition to that, I think you're going to like this one, Brittany. Let me give you a little bit of update of what's going on with the U, the A, the W. Stellantis is saying that they are going to be laying off and then at the plants up to 3,500 workers shortly after, mere weeks after ratifying the UAW contract that was negotiated by Sean Fain, much to the pain and suffering of the automakers themselves. But in addition to Ford saying that they was going to be doing the layoffs, GM is still mulling what it is that they're going to do. But Stellantis has announced that they may be laying off at multiple different plants in both Ohio and Michigan as a result of what's going on with their finances. Let me bring you guys up to speed of what's happening with that.
Phil Ryder has worked at Jeep for a decade. With his seniority, he's not worried he'll get laid off.
Still, you got to feel for these people. You know, some of them have been in there 5-6 years waiting to find they're finally going to get full time.
He's talking about temporary workers, and according to Local 12, the new contract guaranteed nearly 900 of them would go full time. All this just 6 weeks after they were on the picket line.
A month later to find out that all these supplementals that have waited years and years and years, literally, to get hired in full-time are probably going to get hired in full-time and get put out on the street on unemployment. So, was that really a win?
Local 12 President Bruce Baumhauer says this is all happening because Stellantis wouldn't sign an agreement in 2019 to improve fuel emissions. 14 states, including California.
So, blame is to go around everywhere, but essentially, Stellantis, which is also known by the people here in the United States of America as Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, is saying that they're probably going to be laying off workers and are coming to 2 of its U.S. Jeep assembly plants with potentially thousands of workers losing their job early next year. And they announced it in a media release that it is altering production patterns at its Detroit assembly complex, at Mack in Michigan, and its Toledo assembly complex in Ohio, in part because of the need to manage sales of the vehicles that they produce. And they also said the Mack plant will temporarily move from operating 3 shifts to 2, and the Toledo facility move from its current alternative work schedule to a 2-shift pattern that was agreed upon during the Stellantis recent contract agreement with the United Auto Workers Union. The company said both changes will result in job losses. But Stellantis stock is up as a result of it. So again, shortly after what happened with the negotiations with the different plants, Stellantis is now saying that they're probably going to be laying people off in the beginning of the year. I told you guys. I warned you guys, and this ain't even got nothing to do with the UAW negotiations as far as what I'm about to talk about right now. I told you guys this. I said, listen, stop depending on these people thinking that they're going to give you a job or you're going to be guaranteed work just because you want a contract or you got a raise. You need to be very, very careful. And I would bet you $20. That's all I'm willing to bet on this one. That most of the people that voted, because I heard that a lot of people didn't even vote, that most of the people that voted stood on the picket lines and then didn't even read their contract or what was going on in the contract to know that the UAW had agreed to some of what was going to happen already. So they already knew that it was a possibility for these people to get laid off based off of what was negotiated inside of the contract. Neither here nor there. Let's continue. And then last but not least, Macy's is being offered a $5.8 billion buyout. Macy's is a publicly traded company, but they're being offered a $5.8 billion buyout in order to go private.
Archouse Management and Brigade Capital Management have reportedly offered to buy retailer Macy's for $5.8 billion. That's according to people familiar with the situation. The offer values the retailers at $21 a share. You can see the stock all the way up to $20.80 at this point. It's a gain of 19.6%.
Now remember, Macy's getting this offered made the stock price jump almost 20% as a result of this offer.
Joining us right now is Dana Telsey. She's Telsey Advisor Group CEO and Chief Research Officer. And Dana, what do you think? Does this make sense to take it private?
An offer does make sense. It's just who's the right buyer for this offer. We've all seen what's happened before, whether it's real estate or it's splitting off e-commerce. But what's inherent about Macy's, they're close to the customer. You look at their doors they have, and they've pruned their doors over the years. They're now at around 784 in total. And who wants to be closer to the customer? It's got to be a strategic, I think, that makes sense.
Somebody in the chat said, I didn't know you can go from public to private. That's exactly what Twitter did. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, it went from public to private because it was a privately owned company. Basically, anybody can purchase a company, or you can do a buyout of that stock and then completely take it private if you have the resources and the capital to be able to do so. But an investment group is set to try and target Macy's with a $5.8 billion offer that will result in one of the best known names in retail, U.S. retail, from disappearing from the stock market. Two existing investors, Archouse Management and Brigade Capital, banded together to offer $21 a share, and Wall Street Journal was the first ones to report it. The department stores are amongst the most high profile in the U.S. because of its sponsorship of a parade on Thanksgiving Day and that has run since 1924 with the giant floats and the balloons. And the company also owns Bloomingdale's, a more expensive department brand store, which I basically think that is practically the same thing. If you walk through it, it's the same concept. And the beauty chain Blue Mercury, despite its cultural prominence and its broad geographical reach, with 700 stores when counting those from other brands, Macy's has struggled to adapt to online retail. And I think that if I'm the shareholders personally, and I'm not offering any advice because I'm not a financial advisor, but if I am a person that is invested in Macy's stock, I am taking an offer if it is available. But I think that I don't think that retail has to support e-commerce and not the other way around, in my opinion, right? Because if you're not competing online, and I'm going to read that super chat shortly, then you're going to die in retail. First of all, we all know that the shoplifting and the theft is out of control, which I'm going to address a little bit later on in the show. Secondly, consumers are more likely to spend more money online than they are in person. Third, it's much harder and difficult for you to be able to hire the right sales staff, especially considering the pay rates that you have to pay people over in certain states, like over in California, in order to be able to staff these places. Fourth, you also have the retail leases. So a lot of these stores, Macy's stores and all of these malls, which most malls are dying, they are anchor stores, meaning that they are the big box retailer that is anchoring a lot of these malls. And what I think that the investors are going to do, and I don't know the investment group, but it seems like this is the way that most investors do, is that they make this offer and they milk it for all that it can, and they make as much money as they can, and they don't necessarily reinvest back into the brand until the brand dies. So we will see. Retail is strong, Kenya from Cali, and brick and mortar is struggling. And I think that it is a very hard business case to ask people to continue to keep their brick and mortar open when you can figure out how to market more effectively online and still maintain the same retail sales. But I think that it's hard to differentiate yourself now because Macy's kind of holds all brands. And so it's a very weird thing, right? So, but Macy's has got an offer for $5.8 billion to take the company private. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your quick hits. All right? That's your quick hits. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats, and then we're going to get started with the show. The Alexander says, good morning, Anton and the Chasers. My wife and I celebrated our 18th anniversary. Life is great. We got new Chasers getting married. Chasers that's been married for 18 years. I think I might have been married longer than everybody that's in the Chasers. Am I the leader of the marriage group in the Chasers? While also giving y'all advice on why y'all shouldn't be simping inside of y'all marriage so y'all can be successfully married. Shout out to the Alexander. Congratulations to you and your wife. Tell wifey I said happy anniversary. I appreciate you for supporting the show. Miss Crotty Shetty is in the building. Said, Anton, I got something for you. Miss Crotty Shetty. Enforcer 2K9 says, you know, all these strikers were going about it the wrong way from the jump. Why are you holding your employer accountable for societal inflation? Well, because somebody got to eat the rich and somebody got to get rich off of it. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get started with the show. So this hit my inbox early this morning, so I pivoted from one thing in order to make sure I inserted this as a part of the conversation. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, Téagé Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. They told me that Cardi said, I'm single. They said Cardi said that I'm single. You enjoyed the Sunday morning stream, Tia? Shout out to you. She said I'm single. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys, and we're going to cover this really quickly, all right?
It has been an eventful day. I don't pay mind to none of that. Like, I don't care about none of that. I don't want you to put me none of that. I don't know if y'all been getting clues from me for my live. I mean, I don't know if you guys been getting clues from me for my lives or from my stories when I put some certain music. or find my own followings. When it comes for today's events and stuff, I don't know if it's true. I don't think it's true. I don't care to find out because I've been single for a minute now.
There you go. There you go. There you go. She's been single for a minute now. How many more of y'all heroes do y'all want to fall on the sword of being single? It's single season, baby. You shouldn't be single around the holidays. I would at least think that y'all not gonna be single after or y'all are gonna be single after the holidays, but single baby mamas. Can't even say Cardi. Can't even say Cardi is the leader of y'all group now. Can't even say Cardi is the leader of y'all group now. Tia says, in my opinion, she been single. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, and I'm going to play the rest of the video. That's fair, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Who can you take advice from? Y'all only holding on to what? One or two more people? Jay-Z and Beyonce? How many more of y'all heroes that y'all following in pop culture as far as celebrities for life goals, relationship advice, couples goals, all of this stuff? When y'all gonna wake up and smell the coffee? When y'all gonna wake up and smell the coffee? They saying that she's single again, or she's saying that she's single again, and she said that she been single. Meaning that she wanted y'all to catch the hint, been playing songs low, been playing certain songs. Baby girl, we can't read your mind. Y'all holding on to Russ and Sierra and Jay-Z and Beyonce. All right, let me hear the rest of what she got to say.
But I have been afraid to not afraid, I just don't know how to tell the world. But I feel like today has been a sign. The last time I got on live, I kind of wanted you guys to tell you. I kind of wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't know how to tell you. So I was I changed my mind. But it has been like this for a minute now, and I just took it as a sign. So I wanna.
Maybe she got a new album coming out. Usually people announce when they single, and then they drop an album right after that. Who knows? Maybe it's a publicity stunt. They drop a new album right after that. The sales go out of control. Well, I mean, she definitely got a wave now, because I think that Nicki Minaj just released Pink Friday 2 over this past week, but
I start 2024 fresh, open. I don't know. I'm curious for a new life, for a new beginning, and yeah, I'm excited.
All women say this. All women say this. Let me just be very, very clear. This is the I'm newly single and ready to mingle blueprint. And this is no shade to her, because I'm only speaking on what she shared to the people in the dark on a live stream, saying that she was single and she preparing herself for 2024. They say, I want to get back to doing me, self-care. I lost myself. I'm looking to find myself. I think I'm about to drop an album and get back busy again. I need to rediscover what it means to be me. You know, you've heard it, you've seen it, you've let it play out, manifested itself. It's the same blueprint. Every single woman that gets divorced, I just want to be happy. I want to find my safe space. I need to do this. I need to do that, whatever, so on and so forth. But let me just tell you, in no way, shape, or form is it ever wise for a woman to choose a man that, and I got to give her some credit, at least she married before she carried. You got to give her at least that amount of credit. But it's the same blueprint across the board. Single, ready to mingle. Find me, do happiness, new stuff. I can find my creative space. I need to get back to who I was. Blah, 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 blah.
New look, new life, new everything. So I've been wanting to tell you guys for a minute. I don't know how you guys haven't gotten the hint, but it is what it is. I don't know if what happened today is true or not. I simply don't care, because
Reading super chat shortly.
Doing me, focusing on my shit. I told you that I've been going so hard for 2024 to go directly as I wanted to. I feel like in 2017, I was single, and that's when I worked the hardest, and that's when I focused the hardest, and that's when I put out my best work. And then I found somebody that I love and I've been with for a minute. I
need to get back on my grind. Back then, I was on top of things. I was focused, putting on my best work. I'm excited. It's they all say the same thing. Respectfully, it's the same blueprint over. I told y'all what it was. It's the same blueprint over and over and over and over and over and over. I need to figure out me. Yeah, girl. And then, it's going to be the chick says giving false hope in the chat. Yeah, girl, you do you. It was about time. You don't need him anyway.
Back to that 2018. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm truly happy. Like,
I don't believe it. Nope.
And I love you guys. And there's no drama. And the honest truth is, the reason why I've been so afraid and I just been giving clues from here, there, is because I feel like you guys just don't understand that I've been with somebody for 6 years. And not everything is cheating, woman, this, that. 6 years is a very long time.
Not really. And I think that's, and I'm not necessarily ragging on her or whatever. I'm just calling it like I see it and reacting to it based off of what I hear. 6 years, y'all, is not a long time. That means your kid is probably 4 or 5 years old. And again, respect to her for marrying before she carried. But your kid is not even, I don't even think your kid is in school full time yet at that point. Or, I don't know. It's been so long. My daughter is about to be 16. You know what I'm saying? And for me, being like 2 decades into this game, and 2 decades meaning that I got married when I was 22 years old. I'm 41 now. And next year it will be 20 years. 6 years really is not a long time when you're talking about marriage, but it is a long time, I guess, based off of today's standards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just come from a space where you just with people. At the very least, the minimum standard that I've always been taught is at least until your kids are grown. At least until your kids are not interdependent on you two in order for them to then be able to find themselves and grow and all of that stuff, right? 6 years, in my opinion, is not a long time.
It's a very long time. It's a lot of arguments. Not arguments. It's a lot of just, when I don't know.
No, you said it right the first time. Let's rewind that. It was a lot of arguments. You said it right the first time.
It's a very long time. It's a lot of arguments. Not arguments. It's a lot of just, I don't know how to explain it. I just know, because I've never been with somebody for this long. When it's just too long,
it's not too long. It was a lot of arguments. She's not giving the details, so we're not going to speculate or assume it's anything other than whatever it is. But when you go live and people are recording it, you can't take it back. You said what you said. It's not pre-recorded. It's not a statement. When you went online, you said it's a lot of arguments and stuff. And so the first thing that come out of your mind is usually the thing that you really, really mean. So it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. And I'm not going to actually gloat in this because this is nothing to gloat over. I never want to see, especially somebody that did it the right way. They married before they carried. They have children together. I don't like to see people breaking up. But at the same time, who are your heroes? Just because they can rap, sing, they at the glam shows, and they do all of this stuff does not mean that they can give you advice on how it is that you're supposed to be operating within your relationships and marriage. You guys need better heroes and more than just your parents, because some of y'all ain't even got no parents as far as knowing who your real father is or having a father inside of the household. Other of y'all have been raised by simps. Some of y'all actually been held down by strong men and great women that's in y'all lives. And then the rest of y'all just trying to figure it out as y'all go. And so you look into these celebrities or the people that you love the most because you like their music and they give you a spirit or a vibe, but they can't give you any insight on how you're supposed to be operating successfully within a marriage. And I know that we like to modify it and make it seem like a relationship or a partnership and all of that. But in reality, it is much greater chance for your child to become successful, especially if they're in a 2-parent married household, all right? So I don't think that we have any standards anymore. I'm not even sure why she announced it in the first place, other than the fact that it's a possibility for her or him to then be seen with somebody different. And then women also that jump into new relationships weird me out. I never understood it. Women that jump right into a new relationship in order to get over their old relationship, that's weird to me, all right? So, but that's Cardi. She was giving y'all a little bit of insight into her life. Thank you, Cardi, for continuing to provide us with content. We appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. LLC is in the building, says, what happens to existing shareholders when public companies go private? What if the shareholders don't want to sell shares? What do you mean, what if they don't want to sell shares? They vote, and then as a result, they get paid out as a result of it. You can't prevent them from going private. You can't prevent them. When somebody go private, they offer you, and then as a result of it, you got to sell. That's just the way it is. Basically, you get paid out. It's a payout. And usually it's well above whatever it is that the current share price is. So it's nothing to worry about. You go and you take your profits and you reinvest it in something else. Brittany B in the building says, Anton, that contract was 800 pages alone. Jesus. I know nobody read it, but I did. And it only passed 53% to 46% no. 53% yes to 46% no. So for GM, it was close, but it was all smiles here now. Shout out to Brittany. I'll read everything. I'll read everything before I put my signature on it. Ian says, is crowdfunded real estate a good investment? I would not do crowdfunded real estate at all. Listen, this is the thing that I've always advocated for. Mind your business and then make sure that you're managing your money correctly. It's one of the reasons why I advocate for people to do research into the thing that they wind up investing in, even if you're buying a stock. You still need to understand the ETF you're investing in. You want to do the S&P 500, a mutual fund, right? Because those are the lazy ways to invest in it. But everybody is looking for a quick hit or a quick buck. No, do not do crowd-funded real estate. A bunch of people put all of their money in order to. It's a real estate fund. How is it any different? Who do you know? Who's running it? Who's at the top? Because all they're going to do is pay themselves a salary and then get the fees associated with managing the fund. And then you're hoping to get a return on your investment? No. I say mind your business and put your own money up. And if you want to get into real estate, then save your money, get your 20% down, and then start to invest in the real estate, and then is multiple different ways for you to make money as a result of it, right? So you can pull the equity out of it and then reinvest it into something. I do it completely different, and I teach my people different, and paying off their properties and then continuing to keep 100% of the profits instead of paying it over into the mortgage company and the interest, you know what I'm saying, and then trying to pay off the principal. But I don't like crowd-funded real estate. I don't know you. I wouldn't do business with you. You know what I'm saying? So what makes you think that you're going to just take my money and then invest it for me? Nah, I'm good. Do not do I advise my people to stay away from crowdfunded real estate, but I think that that's just my advice. I'm sure you're going to do whatever it is that you need to do. My boy, Mr. Maximus, is in the building, says, tell Cardi to hit me up. I need another notch. My dog, Mr. Lot, is in the building. Shout out to Mr. Lot. Says a woman posting that she's single is a way of turning on the pilot light in her DMs. I wonder how many celebrities probably DM'd her. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Buckhead. Let's move over into Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, there was some crime happening in the middle of the night that I need to alert you guys on. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Big notification. I'm going to read that shortly. Thank you, my friend.
Update on the breaking news that we're following out of Buckhead, where 3 people are dead and a 4th man is being treated at Grady Hospital.
Atlanta police saying this happened all because of illegal drug activity that turned violent. The shooting happening at a high-rise apartment building off of Peachtree Road around 7 this evening.
And our Atlanta News First reporter, Asia Wilson, is live there now. Asia, what can you tell us?
Well, first off, I can tell you that this is all happening in a heavily populated area. But tonight, Atlanta police telling us that the shooting happened at an apartment unit inside right here. They say that what they know so far is that some type of drug transaction that was taking place inside of an apartment. While that transaction was going on, it escalated to gunfire, resulting to 3 people dying. Atlanta police say, again, they believe that at least a couple of the individuals lived in this location. They believe all of those involved are in their 20s. Right now, they say they're not looking for anyone, adding that this was all contained to one unit inside of an apartment on the 11th floor. Take a listen.
I thought that Buckhead was actually a nice area. Somebody give me an update. I thought that Buckhead was a really, really nice area. It's only one of 3 situations that could have happened in this scenario. Y'all want to know what they are? All right. I'm in a unique space where I've grown up in the city of Detroit, and so I'm intimately familiar with what happens in a lot of these transactions. One of the reasons why I was never, ever, not that I ever would have in the first place. You like that? Shout out to you. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Not that I ever would have in the first place, but it's only one of 3 situations that could have happened in this situation, all right? The first one was it's a deal gone bad, meaning that one of either 2 parties was trying to do the other one dirty. That's the first one, right? The second one was somebody tried to short somebody, or they tried to give them some bad work, right? You tried to give them some baking soda when they was really looking for something else. The third thing is that the person that was trying to get it didn't have what it is that they was offering, and so somebody didn't trust anybody. Or the fourth situation is it was just a straight up robbery gone wrong. It was a robbery gone wrong. It was a setup. It was a robbery. And I just think that it is the dumbest game for anybody to get in. I never understood the dope game ever. I never understood the dope game. And the reason that I never understood the dope game, even if you wanted to go into trees, heroin, whatever it was never ever enticing to me, because when I did the breakdown and I tried to understand why people was getting into the dope game in the first place, well, of course it was to make money. But the people at the bottom that had to work their way up, they was never smart enough. Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Let me play the rest of the story, and then I'll give you all my thoughts.
Listen at exactly what happened.
So no, this is the first incident, obviously, of this magnitude that we've been out here for. And again, it's a result of illegal drug activity turning into violence. So this wasn't like a home invasion type scenario. We believe that the perpetrators were invited in for that drug exchange.
Yep. Everybody was on camera and everything.
Now, again, many people have been walking in and out of this building and even walking on the sidewalks, asking questions, shocked and surprised because of the many shops and restaurants in this area. Right now, Atlanta police asking anyone with tips or information that could help prevent incidents like this to come their way. It's important to note that all of the people involved in this incident, again, it was contained in one unit. They don't believe that there are no harm out there for anyone else. For now, we're live in Buckhead. Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
Let me play it from a different perspective, from a completely different news agency, and then I'm gonna give you all my thoughts on why if you in the drug game, you thinking about getting into the drug game, or your children is into the drug game, let me sell you on why it's the dumbest decision that you could have ever heard of in your entire life. All right?
All right, Asia, at least there's no...
Atlanta police calling it a drug deal gone wrong. This all happening near Buckhead Village. It's a very busy area, especially for a Saturday night.
He got on eyeliner? Ain't this the guy that was doing another news thing for me before on the previous one where I was trying to figure out some stuff. Let me see something. Let me blow this up a little bit. Can't hide. You can't hide, big dog. You can't hide it. Let's continue.
Fox 5's Eric Smock is live for us tonight. Eric, what are you learning?
Atlanta police tell us this was, in fact, a drug deal that turned deadly, killing 3 people, putting 1 in the hospital. And they're telling us that 4 people were involved in this deal on the 11th floor of this building, these apartments, 3005
Only 1 walked out.
Buckhead, and they were all involved in this drug deal. Major Peter Malecki with APD tells us they got the call of multiple people shot at around 6:45. Major Malecki says there's evidence that shows there was some sort of transaction going on with likely involving marijuana. When the transaction went south and the people in that apartment shot at each other.
It was some type of drug transaction that was taking place inside the apartment.
Y'all killing each other over trees.
Well, that transaction was going on. It escalated to gunfire, resulting in the exchange of gunfire and ultimately costing 3 individuals their lives.
So only 1 person walked out alive.
Now, Malecki says the only surviving victim was taken to Grady Hospital and is expected to survive.
And he's going to say it was in self-defense.
They recovered handguns at the scene, but they're still investigating to see if any other weapons were used. And unfortunately, he says this is not uncommon for drug deals like this to turn into deadly shootouts. Now, Major Malecki said that all the people that were involved in this violence have been accounted for in the apartment, so they're not looking for anyone, and there isn't any ongoing threats to the residents in the building or the shoppers in this area. And they also said none of the bullets went through the walls, and all the gunfire was contained in that apartment, so there wasn't any kind of collateral damage. We'll continue to keep you updated, though, on this.
Let me tell you why it makes no sense for anybody to get into the drug game, fam. I'm going to tell you why. Or I'm going to at least give it to you from my limited perspective based off of the fact that I grew up in the inner city of Detroit, and I've seen so many different people fall off, die, go to jail, so on and so forth. And a lot of us are familiar with this because we either grew up in the hood, been in the projects, know somebody, part of your family, or whatever, right? The number one reason for me as I was growing up, right? And of course, you got your rappers and the people that in the hood and you see them or whatever, so on and so forth. And I've always started to try to figure it out. And, I knew what the price is of an ounce, a quarter kilo, a pound, right? And then you breaking it down, right? And when you're starting at the bottom, especially when you're younger and you get your little half ounce or you get your ounce and then you break them down, right? And I started doing the math because my homegirl, rest in peace to her, some of you, especially Kojak, may know my homegirl, Bree. So Brianna was somebody that was really, really close to me, and she wound up at some point in her life taking her life. But shout out to Brianna, rest in peace, and then God bless your family. But Brianna was very, very close to me, and Brianna knew a lot of people, or she was very, very much connected with different people that was doing a lot of things. And so the game was the game, and the thing that we started to break down when she started to bring me into certain spaces was the math just didn't make sense financially to me, especially starting at the bottom. The math didn't make sense financially to me starting at the bottom. Because when you start to actually take into consideration how much money they were making, especially if you got it on consignment, and a lot of people not even familiar with these terms. So let me break it down for you. Just from a C student's perspective, in a general sense, consignment is that you don't have the money or you're not willing to put the money in, you know what I'm saying, in order to get your own work. And so when you get it on consignment, the person that's giving you the stuff want their money back. You got to take care of them business, high-end sales, got to already have your clientele, got to be moving at work in order to then pay the plug back, and then you keep the difference of whatever it is that they price was, right? So they want you out there working, and then they give it to you on consignment. So basically they giving you the product, you go sell it, you need to move it by a certain time because homie want his money back. He want his lick back, right? Big Worm gave his stuff to Smokey. Smokey was smoking it, and instead of selling it, And Big Worm wanted his money back, right? This is the Millionaire Morning Show, Brittany. We gotta break it down, and we're gonna look at everything. Everything comes back down to the money, right? But then let's just say, for example, you got the upfront money. You was able to get your money up front, so whatever product that you picking up, you getting it, right? And let's say you don't have that pressure of being able to reinvest, because even if you get it on consignment, the goal shouldn't be to make money so that you can spend money. It's the same thing that applies to how it is that we doing it today. And I'm gonna tell you why this makes sense and why it's so important for us to have this conversation, because a lot of people are enticed by the streets and these music and all of this, but it doesn't make sense, and the same principles apply across the board, right? It's getting fronted. You're right. Shout out to Be Our Golden Boy. But here's the goal. And again, I'm going to break it down to you from my young mind of why it never made sense, even though I was never interested in it in the first place. But I had to get some understanding. So let's say you get it on consignment, and let's say you keep the difference and you make some money from whatever the plug was giving it to you. The goal is to eventually get off a consignment, so you still got to stack your money, meaning that you eventually want to get to the point to where you buying your own product, so you ain't got to worry about getting fronted. Because if anything ever happens, if the cops kick in your door, if they discover your stash, if you get robbed or anything like that, you don't want to still owe the plug money, because you got to pay that back. You got to pay that back, and you going to pay that back, because the one thing that the plug know, if you the dude that's slanging, or you the plug, so let's say you the dude that's selling the drugs, or you the plug that then supplied whoever it is that's moving to work on the streets, the one thing that you know and you can't tolerate is anybody robbing you. Which then means, and now you see how it's starting to compound, which then means now you got to do something, or you got to make an example of somebody, because you don't know if they really lying or not about whether or not they robbed you. And even if they did, it can't get out that you given a pass, because then you become food, and then everybody got permission to rob you because they know you ain't going to do nothing about it. At some point, you have to inflict some violence on somebody as a person that is a part of the game, and you cannot just be a casual mover and shaker. You got to risk your freedom. You got to make sure you pay your plug back if you're getting it on consignment or you getting fronted to work. You got to make examples of people that they can't come in and rob you. You always got people looking at you and studying your movements to try to understand where you're coming and going, because they know that you can't go to the police if they hit you up. Which means that you then have to invest in yourself, and you got to sleep with one eye open, and you can't even have to work where you live at, because that's the number one rule. It's a no, never, ever, ever sleep where you play at. Never, ever. That's number one. Number two, never use the work. And now we got dudes that's smoking it just as much as they selling it. And so many different factors. And then here's the number one thing. When you do the math and you start to break it down, especially at the lower levels, a lot of these dudes, based off of how much time that they putting into it, they not even making minimum wage. A lot of these guys are putting their lives on the line. They getting felonies. They getting misdemeanors. They ain't got no bail money to be able to get out of jail. They trying to go out here and shake it and move it and all of this other type of stuff. And guess what? Most of them go to jail at some point. If you don't get out of the game, eventually you're going to get hit and you might die. And then on top of that, they not even making minimum wage at the bottom end of the rung. That's a fact, though. You better off going to get a job at the McDonald's that was down the street, which is exactly what I told a lot of my friends to do when they went and did it. And most of these guys ain't even getting the amount of money, and they be out there in the cold, snow. You got dudes coming in and out. You don't know who he is. You don't know if you go to re-up that this dude is not actually going to rob you and take your money instead of actually giving you you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Now you got to get a jailhouse lawyer, and you got this dude with some slip-ons that's just telling you to plead guilty, and now you got a felony and misdemeanor on your record, and you can't even get a job when you decide that you want it to go straight. Now, what type of life is that? That you got to be in a trap. You got to be in a crack house on a regular basis. You risking your freedom. You risking your life. Possibly getting robbed. Got to pay the plug back. making sure that you got all of this pressure on you. Crackheads all want it for something or give me a little taste of it. Hey, man, I'm going to get you back and all of this other type of stuff. You got to keep your stash separate from what it is, and you got to do handoffs separately, right? So let me give you the game. You can't keep your stash on you, but then you can't keep dudes around you that know where your stash at. So you got to switch your stash up on a regular basis, because first you got to get the money and then you got to go and get the stash, because you can't keep the stash on you because it may be an undercover or the Ray-Ban may be coming and you don't want them to go out here and arrest you because you got a bunch of work on you. So now you got to keep your stash separate. Man, that is no life to live. That is not a Ray-Ban coming down the street. They watching you. They got your mama on the tap. Anything that you buy, if you start to level up and you didn't get caught, when they finally catch you, they can take all of your stuff because they can say it was all bought with drug money. And then if you get big enough and you don't get out the game in time, they can get you for tax evasion. It's crazy. And you can't miss. And that's the worst part about it. You can't miss. Yeah, you got that pillow talk, missed a lot. Women around you, can't trust them. Set it up. You can't miss one time. They can miss 100 times, but you can't miss once. You do, it's up. It's up from there. And this just don't make sense, fam. It don't make sense. It don't make sense for anybody to want to live a part of this lifestyle. It is dark. It is cold. It's lonely. It's a lot of cooking up. It's a lot of trust issues. It's a lot of people that's going to get hurt as a result of it. And you ruining your community at the same time. I'd rather just go get a job, bro. Get some benefits. Go to school. It ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Stay out of the streets. Listen. I know your son, your homie, a lot of y'all is out here in the trap. You listening to the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me tell you something, bro. I don't know if anybody has explained it to you like this from a business perspective. Everything you do, relationships, the curriculum that you go into school, and whether or not you want to get into the drug game, trust me, you have to look at it from a business perspective. It's a lose-lose situation. There's nothing good that can come from it. And you not getting that felony expunged from your record. I'm telling you. They make it sound beautiful in the lyrics. They want to entice you with it and all of this other type of stuff. You got one shot, bro. And you ain't even really get... Y'all want to talk about people protesting? The dope boys need a union if that's the case. Because they the ones that's out here getting killed by inflation. They're the ones that's out here getting killed by inflation. Y'all making nothing and you risking everything for nothing. You risking everything for nothing. And you getting middleman too. And the price of the brick is going up. Let me get on off this. Shout out to Atlanta. I just want to help you to understand something. If you ain't never gave this to your homeboy or you know a homeboy that's doing, let me break it down to him from a business perspective. Maybe he'll see it a little bit differently because y'all getting finessed out here in these streets. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. It don't get no realer than this. See, this is why they can't put me on TV because Anton going to be talking about the dope game and consignment and getting fronted and then homie and getting why they call it the trap and all of that. And then I'm going to be telling too much information and then too many people going to be tuning in and they're going to say Anton is being negative. Big Hertification in the building says that's what Grant Cardone is doing, getting rich off of everyone who paid into his fund, managing his fund. I don't know Grant Cardone's business inner workings. I know fund managers pay themselves certain fees along with some of the profits of what's going on. Also on top of that, I think that's the thing that Jay Morrison tried to do is kind of replicate what Grant Cardone is allegedly doing successfully. And he failed miserably as a result of it because that just don't fly in the black community. Maybe amongst the white boys, but that don't fly. Them real estate funds, Good luck, Richard Fain, with the Prime Fund. I hope that work out for you, big dog. Patty Jackson says, Anton, I know she married before she carried, but bro, everybody know Offset is out in these streets clapping cheeks. Well, then that means that you already know who you was with before you got with him. And so now you can't sit here and try to change a person. Listen, a zebra can't change into a leopard. A zebra can't change into a leopard. And so you can't marry a man thinking that he's going to be any different than he was when he got with you. No, he's going to be more of it. Jacqueline Moore is in the building, says, I never believed they were married. Too many babies. Cardi is not stupid. I don't know, Jack. I don't know, Jackie. Time Out is in the building, says, Cap, any woman or man saying that they're a new person because they left is lazy. Are they saying they were locked in a dungeon, not allowed to do anything, couldn't work or on yourself while you was together? Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. Bitcoin Brown says that studio sneak peek view on IG was dope. Have y'all ever seen my studio and how I got things set up in here? Or maybe I'll give y'all a little bit of a view. I don't know if I can show it to y'all. No. I tell y'all what. I'm going to give a studio setup because I redid a lot of my studio. And I got some more stuff coming in. I'll do it for the Patreon members. So if you're a bag chaser, I'm going to show you how I got things set up and how things have changed significantly. But the studio is crazy. Studio's crazy. Shout out to Bitcoin Brown. You almost gave everybody a free preview. I got audio engineers coming in here to make sure that the sound is even better and all of that for next year. Next Level MF says, from a former drug dealer, don't do it. Don't do it. James 30T says, keep up the good content and thanks. Thank you, James. I appreciate you. Wealth Building Journey is in the building. Says number 10, a strong word called consignment, strictly for linemen, not for freshmen. If you ain't got the clientele, say hell no, because they gonna want their money, rain, sleet, hell, snow. Yeah, you ain't know I knew about that. What? Not for Simon, not for linemen. Never saw no weight where you rest at. Shout out to you. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a student. I used to be a student of the game. I used to listen to Life After Death a little bit. Jason Harrison says, longtime supporter, been hitting your email, phone, and Patreon for 3 to 4 weeks now. Now can I get another session in? Oh, if you've already had a session, you should be able to schedule for another session. All right. Yes, I am still taking calls. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Tell them that you've already had a previous session. All right. Love you. I love you forever. Says salute to the bag chasers. OG King, Lord, Saint, Emperor Kojak from the 313. Have a blessed and happy birthday. Good day, Anton. Can't stay. But I had to shout them out. Back to the chase in the bag, over and out. Make sure you rewatch this live stream too, forever. I love you. Bilderberg Boy is in the building, says, good morning, AD. Long time ago, me and my friends used to say being a dealer was the hardest job in America. I still don't know how I made it past the 90s and the early 2000s. I lost a lot of people in the streets. I think that we all do. I think that we all did. A lot of us did, but we try to forget that because the hood wasn't nothing for us. Brittany B says, Sean Fain said, holla at me. I heard y'all needed to unionize the dope game. He gonna have people getting laid off out here, Brittany. Rashad Howard says, y'all notice Cardi not rocking a bonnet for the I'm single announcement? Nice catch. Look like she's fishing. I know bait when I see it. We gotta stay focused. Kung Fu Hustlers in the building says the government loves brain dead people though, Anton. And that's why you still gonna have a lot of people still out here in the game not doing what they supposed to do. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go over to Houston really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. So John Whitmire is now the mayor of Houston. He's the leader of the Houstonians. Former senator, Democratic Senator John Whitmire, older white man with a bald head. I'm feeling him. I'm liking it. That's my alter ego. Older white man with a bald head is now the mayor of, or in a month he will be. He's the mayor-elect of Houston, and he defeated Sheila Jackson. Now, before we get into this, before we break this down, I want to emphasize one thing because I literally just noticed this as I'm watching it, right? Hold on. There are 2.288 million people as of the 2021 census. Over 2.2 million people live in Houston. Over 2.2 million people live in Houston. Now, compared to New York, where there's over 8.5 million people living in New York specifically, which is one of the reasons why New York is in need of some good sanitation and making sure you get them rats off that street. And they're the highest costing city in America. 2.2 million people live in Houston. Anwar, you see where I'm going with this? 68,000 people voted for Sheila Jackson, and 128,000 people voted for John Whitmire. And Johnson says it's definitely in the 3 million range now that we're going into 2024. Listen, less than 200,000 people, less than 10% voter turnout rate. Let me emphasize this again. The local election is more important than the national election. It is the thing that is going to impact you on a regular basis, meaning that your millages, your community colleges, where the school funding is going, how the city council is going to allocate resources, whether you're going to become a sanctuary city, so on and so forth. And I keep saying this, I keep hitting on this, and I say it on a regular basis, that I don't want to hear no excuses from anybody in any of these urban communities in these blue cities when you get a Brandon Johnson and Eric Adams and all of these different mayors, or Mike Johnson, or whoever it is that's in your city. Now, they telling me that John Whitmire is actually a good guy, and I want to break this down for you guys. But let's be very, very clear. You have less than a 10%, less than 200,000, and some people are saying that the population is officially probably skyrocketed closer to 3 million now from the 2.28 million people that have been identified in 2021. And we know that a lot of people moved over to Houston. A lot of people moved into the city. You guys have less than a 10% voter turnout rate. If that is not one of the most disappointing things that we can first take from this election before we even deep dive into who John Whitmire is, and thank you God, just from the optics that he actually defeated Sheila Jackson Lee. Not saying anything is bad with Sheila Jackson Lee, but I think that we need more male leaders, more strong, seasoned guys that understand, that are servants of the community, more strong male leaders inside of our institutions. Let's go ahead and get started with this, y'all.
All right, Houston voters turning out to elect the city's next mayor. State Senator John Whitmire overcoming opponent Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee to take control of the fourth largest city in the country. Whitmire bringing in 65% over the Congresswoman's 35%. Our Shelby Rose was at the George R. Brown Convention Center to hear the mayor-elect speak.
Well, this was a campaign watch party that ended sooner than everyone thought, but obviously in a good way if you are a supporter of now Mayor-elect John Whitmire. He took the stage around 9 o'clock alongside his two daughters and grandsons and some former colleagues of his,
Super Chat,
Representative Sylvia Garcia and Senator Carol Alvarado. Now, when he took the stage, he had a long list of thank yous while also talking about the things that he wants to see change in the city of Houston. He does say that he believes that we do live in a great city, while also admitting that there are some problems that need to be fixed.
Great cities solve their problems. We will make this a safer city. We will do it by recruiting more officers, supporting the officers we have, the coalition building with other agencies. Our infrastructure will be repaired and fixed, not only streets, but water. Great city.
Okay, so let me say this. I love everything that he's saying. I think that, and of course, this is just an election day speech, and I didn't follow all of the different speeches that they were giving up to this. But he's saying the basic fundamentals of what it takes in order to make a great city. You got to have good infrastructure. I think a part of it is also public transportation, because Houston is horrible. I mean, Houston is one of the most horrible places that I've ever driven in outside of Los Angeles and New York, But the fact that Houston doesn't really have a robust public transportation system is one of the things that kind of limit its growth as far as being marketed to and then allowing for people to really be able to thrive in that city. Because it takes like an hour, depending on what time that you get out there, for you to drive from one side of the city to the other. It's a massive city too. But infrastructure, education, infrastructure meaning water, because we know that Houston's water was trash and they had a black woman that was in the office as far as controlling where all of the contracts was going, and they was leveraging public institution funds to the tune of over $87 million, right? It's unfortunate that Anton would know more about your city than a lot of people that even live in Houston. It's unfortunate that I know so much more about Chicago, Denver, Houston, New York than most of the people. I bet y'all that most of y'all don't even know who y'all alderman is over in Chicago. Probably don't know who your treasurer is. Probably don't know who your city council person is. It's unfortunate. I know some of the most dynamic aspects of some of y'all cities that some of y'all probably aren't even familiar with. Education, public transportation, infrastructure updates, safety. Education, if I was running for office, these are the things that I would run on. Education, infrastructure, public transportation. You hear me? Education, infrastructure, public transportation, safety. Meaning that you have to have a good relationship with your officers. They got to make a lot of money. They have to be supported. You have to really, really get behind your police department if you really want to thrive, and you have to recruit for the best people in the country. You have to compete against other policing agencies in order to get the best people in the country. Safe, and when people feel safe, when they feel like they can send their kids there and they can raise their kids in a decent environment as far as the school, got to support the teachers, got to support the principals, got to change the dynamics of how you operate within your city, right? That's number 2. Infrastructure, meaning infrastructure is everything, roads, water, the basics, the needs. You have to continuously reinvest in that. You take more money away from the social programs, but you enable more people to be able to support themselves, teaching a man how to fish instead of giving them a fish, you would actually make for a great city. They got to be able to want to send their kids there. They got to want to be able to raise a family there. They have to be able to have the opportunities. When you provide those 4 things, you then set the foundation for businesses to thrive and for people to want to be able to get there, right? So he's saying all of the right things.
Cities do not boil their water for 2 days. Together, we can
minus the herpes.
And of those in attendance, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner. We had a chance to speak with him about how he thinks about our new mayor of the city of Houston.
I feel good about it. He's a great man. A lot of respect in our city. It's just important that everybody works together and keep moving our city forward. And a new mayor come in with his own ideas, and everybody need to respect that and move forward.
It's really good when you got the police chief on your side, because it looks like they can work together. And so this is the thing about government. Government is a space where you're supposed to work together for the good of the people. It's not supposed to be divisive. It's supposed to be something that supports the people.
But we still do have to wait about a month to see John Whitmire take the seat as mayor, as he will be sworn in January. Reporting at the George R. Brown, Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
Meantime, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee conceding her loss in the race. The Congresswoman throwing her support behind Mr. Whitmire and vowing to continue her work as a public servant.
Our work is not completed. This was a journey. I am a public servant. And being a public servant, you never stop working. I hope you will allow me to continue to work and serve you as I have done in the past, because that is what I will do.
The mayor's race, not the only one Houstonians decided on Saturday, of course. The city controller's seat and several city council seats.
I'm not a fan of, if I see a good woman candidate, I'm just not. I don't know why a woman would want to run for that type of seat in the first place. Let me see if I can learn a little bit more about John Whitmire.
Now, a decision in 2023 where State Senator John Whitmire was elected as the new mayor of Houston in a landslide win. He celebrated his win at the George R. Brown Convention Center last night.
Tonight we're going to celebrate I want to shake your hands, but in the morning, we go to work. Thank you.
After covering the mayor-elect's watch party last night, KPRC2 investigator Mario Diaz had a one-on-one conversation with the state senator this morning about the campaign and his plans for the city of Houston.
But do you view the result as people saying we need to have a dramatic shift?
Oh, there's no doubt that people are ready for change, including me, or I wouldn't have been in the race. If things were working smooth, I wouldn't put myself and my family through 2 tough years of campaigning.
How do you?
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't ever see myself ever running for any seat whatsoever because that's a grind. That is grueling. And your family got to be on par, and you got to be married, and you got to be holding hands and waving, and you can't be calling women hoes and all of that stuff. I'm not about to be sitting here playing that game because if I see somebody that's a hoe and ain't for the streets, I'm going to just call it exactly like it is. Now, if I see a woman that's a wife, I'm going to be like, hey, wifey, congratulations. And then if I see a woman that just so happened to be single, but she's preserving herself for marriage, I'm going to say, what up, boo? I see you, baby girl. And then if I see a woman that's out there for the streets, I'm going to say the streets need you. To the pavement shall you returneth. And then they not going to like that. They not going to like that. They're going to say Anton not elected. It don't really matter if they like it or not because only 10% of the population going to show up to vote anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Get that smooth road going in the first 100 days.
I'm going to have a great team. I have a lot of experience. I'm going to reach out to Houstonians, those that were for me and some that were opposed to me, and we're going to sit down and work things out. We're going to have proposals. We're not going to kick the can down the road. I don't have time to waste talking about my age. You know, I'm willing to give some of the best remaining years of my life to Houstonians because
I like this guy. I like this guy. He got a strong jaw on him. If anybody's ever seen Moneyball, you got to evaluate whether or not a guy is in his masculinity based off of a strong jawline. He's very direct. He said, I ain't got a whole lot of time to waste as far as my age. I've been doing this for a while. We need change in Houston. We need to support the police. We got to make sure that we fix the water and the infrastructure. We got to work with even the people that don't like me. And so I ain't got time to be playing no games. I'm going to run it up. Houston, y'all might have y'all one. Y'all might have y'all one. Houston, y'all might have a good one. I ain't seen a good mayor in a while out here in these streets. But Houston might have one. Houston might have one. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats and let's move forward. So John Whitmire is in the building. Shout out to Houston. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show, man. Next Level MF says a kid killed himself in Detroit with his parents' gun. Really? Send that to me. I need to see that. Y'all not being responsible gun holders, gun owners. I need to see that. Next Level. Send that to me. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, good for Houston. Definitely need more men in these positions. Now, I haven't. Let me preface this by saying that I haven't done extensive research on John. But I will be keeping my eye on you, John, in Houston. AL says, shout out to my frat brother and Morehouse brother, Chris Hollins, who got elected to the city controller in Houston. Wait a minute. Is he a chaser? Is he a chaser? Well, you did super chat. Congratulations, Chris Hollins, for the city controller in Houston. Also, Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, on a side note, Chris Christie proved why Nikki cannot be president. He had to save her from Vivek. Putin will eat them for breakfast. I don't think that any of them people is ever going to get elected as long as Trump remains on the ballot. So, I got my own little thing about that. Chris with the shade says, number one, I can't wait to make this trip to Detroit. You going to have a good time, Chris. You going to have a good time. Number two says, I'm not a Sheila Jackson Lee supporter. And number three, John Whitmire's better choice, Houston over Detroit. Not in your wildest dreams. Not in your wildest dreams. I don't even think, look, what y'all got? The Houston Texans? Bro, the name of y'all mascot is literally the name of your state. The name of your mascot is the name of your state. Houston ain't nothing but the little brother of Dallas. Dallas, even though they got less people, is actually a better city than Houston. Houston not even the best city inside of Texas. That's a fact, though. Houston is not even the best city in Texas. Please don't make me get on Houston. Please don't make me get on Houston, because I will start going ham. Q. Oh, now Q all of a sudden. Make sure y'all tune into the Q show tonight, because I'm going to be going off on Q. I'm going to hold her accountable for her trash city. Let me tell you something. Q don't even want to claim Houston right now. All y'all are, listen, y'all can't even get Jay Prince, and not Jay Prince for president. Y'all being ran by gangsters. Y'all rappers not even safe there. Beyonce don't even live there no more. Boy, listen, I don't get me started. Don't, because I will uncover every single problem within Houston. I will go through Houston's entire administration like a surgical knife. For all of the politicians, it's almost over 2,100 people in here. It's over 2,100 people in here and growing. Let me tell you something. For all of you politicians that's watching this from Houston, y'all better tell them to leave me alone. Y'all better tell them to leave me alone, because I will go through and I will uncover the same way that I did Dalton, the same way that I did Chicago. I will go through that mug with a surgical knife, and everybody going to be running like ants over in Houston. Everybody, the police, the treasurer, everybody. Y'all better leave me alone. I specialize in political campaigns and making sure that I hold my political prisoners accountable, as you can see of what we did over there in Chicago. We doing good work in Chicago. Better leave me alone. Y'all better leave me alone. Rockets. Yeah. Oh, you standing on business in Houston? Okay. All right. Remember, y'all said this. You did this. It is the Island Girl Qs, the Chris J's, all of these people, Joe Gun 84, all of these people decided that they wanted me to specialize in Houstonian uncovering with all of your gang violence and y'all being controlled by a record label owner and all of that there. So this is what you wanted to do, huh? This is the sword that y'all wanted to die on? You standing on business? Y'all standing on business, Houston? Okay. All right. How many championships the Houston Rockets got? Oh, I'm just asking. Don't worry about it. We gonna get there. We gonna get and then got the nerve to hire Nia Long's baby daddy. You do know that y'all head coach is Ime Udoka, who just cheated on Nia Long over in Boston, right? Y'all want to go down? Do you want to go down this road, or you want to let me continue the show? Do you want to go down this road, or do you want to let me continue the show? Because trust me, Houston, I will do a whole stand-up set on Houston. Tell Nia Long, baby daddy, I said what up, though. Tell Nia Long, baby daddy, I said what up, though. You don't want to do this. I'm telling you. Y'all got too many skeletons in y'all closet. See, the one thing about Detroit is that all of our skeletons is out in the open. So anything you want to do to us, we just going to do to Eminem and say, we already told you, you already got our skeletons. But see, it's a lot happening over in Houston, and I do not want to do it. And y'all better leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm telling you, Houston, you are on my hit list. Okay. This is what y'all wanted to do. This is how you played it. Game on. Game on. Starting tomorrow, we will have a Houston Brandon Johnson is thanking y'all right now. Brandon Johnson is thanking y'all right now. Brandon Johnson just thanked you. Brandon, thank Island Girl Q. Thank Azriel. Thank Chris J. Thank Joe Gun 84. We gonna get there. All right, let's continue over with the show. Well, let me read some of these super chats, and then we gonna go over. You shouldn't have did that. AL says the Lions got squashes. See? Aaron setting y'all up. He ain't even from there. He from Chicago, hanging out over in Boston. Aaron is hanging out with the town. You know what I'm saying? He trying to set y'all up, trying to put y'all in a bad situation. Chris J says Dallas can never live up to you. Dallas is a much better place to go and visit. And they have a much better team. And they got a much better football team and basketball team. Wiz from HTX from Houston says, Cap, Houston better than Dallas. Says nobody ever. Says nobody. Nobody thinks that Houston is. Nobody in Texas says that Houston is better than Dallas except for Jay Prince's crew. That's a fact, though. Bitcoin Brown says, thoughts on Drake just buying a house in Houston? Yeah, that's where all of the hoes is. Okay, I'll give you this. If you want a bunch of chicks for the streets, go hang out in Houston. If you want a bunch of chicks from the streets, go hang out in Houston. I don't want to do a whole set, but I will do it. And I will set it up for this weekend. Sigma the Prince says, I live in Dallas, but Houston has more cultural and educational institutions. Listen, this is what we're going to do. My first show on After Hours in the beginning of the year, I'm going to do a Detroit versus Houston, and I'm going to roast y'all. I am going to bury Houston under the ground. I'm going to do Houston so bad for coming up here on the Millionaire Morning Show, interrupting me, trying to hold Eric Adams, Brandon Johnson, and all of these people accountable. Cardi B is out here with no man. And I am going to make sure that I do Houston a disservice in the beginning of the year. On January 1st, I'm going to be in Miami and I'm going to be talking real reckless about Ime Udoka and everybody over in Houston that decide that they wanted to bring their city to the front of the congregation. I am going to destroy you guys. I am going to bring every single skeleton and every politician. You will regret the day on December 11th, 2023 that you told me to bring you to the front of the congregation. I got you. I got you. Okay. That's the last I'm going to say about that. Yeah. Send me the emails. My people are fierce. Send me the emails. Chris J says, Texans over the Lions, cap. Rockets over the Pistons, cap. Ain't even got no championships. Jay Prince over Trick. Oh. Disrespectful. You disrespectful. Web Lord says, Houston Texans. Houston, Texas. Shout out to Web Lord. Black Cartwright is in the building, says Detroit and Houston don't have anything on Indy what? Talking about where Michael Jackson used to live? On Gary, Indiana? I just went by there the other day. Boy, y'all don't want to do this. Leave me alone. Houston, oh, God. We got a lot of people in Houston in here. I can't believe it. Jacques says, Mr. I'm in the by Nate Carter says, shout out to y'all. Julius Jermaine is in the building. We got a lot of Houstonians in here, apparently. Anton, I'm from Houston. And nope, pick one. Pick one. Pick one. Either you from Houston or you from Dallas. Draw your line in the sand right now. Draw your line in the sand right now. Because Houston. Yeah. Ain't been good since Kenny Smith got his knees messed up. Ain't been good since Kenny Smith's knees start going in like this. Houston ain't. Listen, the only reason Houston even the Rockets even got a championship is because Jordan wasn't playing at the time. Do you realize that y'all got fake championships? Y'all have fake championships. The only reason that you guys even have NBA championships in the first place, it's almost like a bubble championship. The only reason is because Jordan decided that he wanted to sit down for a minute because he had some stuff that was going on in his personal life. But here's a fact, though. You guys are blessed. You don't even deserve the championships that you got. The only reason you got a championship is because Jordan retired. I swear to God, I'm coming to Houston and I'm gonna do a whole stand-up. I'm gonna make y'all so mad when I get done with Houston. I'm going to make y'all so mad when I get done with Houston. Shout out to Kenny Smith's knees and Michael Jordan giving y'all an alley-oop. Now the dream is over there dream shaking, teaching people how to travel for $20,000. Stop it. Stop it. Thank Jordan. Thank Jordan. Anyways, let me go ahead and I see Houston got a lot of you motherfuckers in here today. Shout out to the church. I got to continue on with the show. All right? Eric Adams went to go visit Biden in D.C. And Biden said, I got something for you, Eric. Let me go ahead and bring y'all up to speed of what's going on over in New York before I head down to Houston.
Mayor Adams sending out a disheartening message today about the ongoing migrant crisis.
Yeah, the mayor says that he didn't leave his meeting in D.C. with any optimism. He claims no hope is on the way right now. News 4's Melissa Russo in the newsroom with more on those pretty strong comments, Melissa.
Well, it's not an easy place for Mayor Adams to be, Natalie, traveling down to Washington for the 10th time yesterday to try to get more aid for migrants and the humanitarian crisis here, and then leaving without any good news. Ordinarily, he would be diplomatic and he would say, oh, they're working on it, which is what he said yesterday while he was still in D.C. But today, the mayor flat out admitted that he left empty-handed.
I did not leave with optimism. I left with the cold reality that help is not on the way in the immediate future.
Mayor Adams went to go and holler at Biden, and Biden gave him a big F you. No, don't come over here asking for nothing now after you've been talking tough. We already got the FBI on you, Mayor Adams. Yeah, he went over to Washington, and he threw the Biden administration under the bus, and he said, listen, man, it ain't my fault, it's Biden's fault. Because you were supposed to be standing on business. Remember that? When you said that you was a sanctuary city and you ain't budging and you was holding the people up. But now that we have over 180,000 students on the streets of New York because they're homeless and the shelters is fully built out. In New York, and I've already shown this, migrants stepped out of the new tent city and they jumped back on the bus and they went over to the hotel. Eric, you can't cut the budget billions and billions of dollars in New York and think that Biden is going to save you in an election season. Man, don't you know that Trump is all over Biden? Trump is on Biden like a wetsuit. Trump is on Biden like Clay. Trump is on Biden like Dennis Rodman was all on Shaq. Trump is on Biden like Ron Artest was at the palace for the Malice at the Palace when Ben Wallace pushed him and then the whole palace attacked him. Trump is on Biden like a wetsuit. Biden is trying everything in his power. He got federal investigations, civil, criminal, all kind of stuff. Hunter Biden just got indicted again and arrested again. They found drugs inside of the White House. Biden was one of the toughest Democrats that you've ever, the dude literally wrote the bill that locked up black people, justifiably or not, that's a completely different conversation. But the dude has pivoted and made a 180 so much so that he had a trans party on the government flow in Washington, D.C., to where they was taking selfies. Biologically born men was hanging out on the White House lawn at a party that Biden was at. This is how much of a fight Biden is in order to make sure that Kamala Harris is going to be president of the United States one day, because I'm not even sure that he has all of his cognitive functions to make the decisions that he's making on a regular basis. His son is embroiled, and you thought that you was going to walk over to D.C. and get billions and billions of dollars. They just came out with a poll that said that they don't like the way that Biden is handling the Ukraine war and the Israel situation. And you thought They literally just kicked the can down the road in order to continue to fund the government. And they say right after the new year, we're going to revisit this. The government ain't even fully funded. We are 33, 34, 35, 36 trillion dollars in debt as a nation. And you thought that you becoming a sanctuary city was going to get Biden to give you billions of dollars to throw down into a black hole with no long-term solution? How did that work out for you?
Those words today, a far cry from what Mayor Eric Adams posted last night when he said it had been a very productive day in Washington, D.C. He met with New York lawmakers, but also with Biden administration officials.
It's a mixed messaging.
Biden wouldn't even face this dude. He had to meet with his admin. We have the number one generating tax revenue city in the entire United States of America, New York, with over 8 million people there. And Biden wouldn't even sit down with him. They did a photo op with Biden's people. They treat Eric Adams like a side chick. They're treating Eric Adams. Listen, New York. Let me bring y'all to the front of the congregation. Your mayor gets no respect over in D.C. I know it's a lot of tent cities over in D.C. It's literally just blocks away. Anybody that's I just did a Patreon meetup in D.C. It was lit. If you go to D.C., you're going to see a bunch of homelessness, a bunch of tent cities. There's going to be some protests. Me and Brittany B last year, Brittany, we both went up to the White House. We was over there viewing it, and they had a bunch of crazy people protesting in front of the White House and stuff. But let me tell you something. One thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. You get no love over in Washington, D.C. You get no love over in D.C. They basketball team might be bad, but you not getting no love. They may have changed their name into the Washington Commanders, but you not coming up in here. You not getting no love over here in D to the C.
Coming out of City Hall regarding this ongoing crisis that really has kind of been unfairly dealt to Mayor Adams, but he really needs to find a way to handle this situation. Otherwise, this is going to be his Waterloo moment.
We did not walk out from D.C. with any level of optimism that anything is going.
Look at them dry faces. Forget all of this. Let's just go straight into the press conference. I want to see what he said directly coming out of his mouth. I don't want no analyst. I want to hear what he said, because this man with no mustache told this other man with no mustache, I'm going to have you sit over there in the corner, meet with my people, and then get on back over to New York because you're wasting taxpayer dollars flying here.
As you know, yesterday I was in Washington, D.C. To meet with our congressional leaders and to meet with the White House. And I wanted to take the opportunity at the White House celebration for the holiday season because I knew I would have a gathering of lawmakers, mayors from across the country. And I was able to speak with the mayor of Chicago and leaders from Massachusetts and others. And we're seeing the same thing across the entire country. Our residents are weary, our residents are angry, our residents are seeing the impact of the migrant and asylum seeker issue, how it is taken away from the resources that should go to the day-to-day services of running the city. We did not walk out from D.C. with any level of optimism that anything is going to drastically.
At what point will any of these mayors, politicians, legislators, governors, representatives, Congress members, presidents of the United States of America, city council members, treasurers, I have never, and I don't know if they just teach y'all this in politician school or something that y'all go to when they had this backroom conversation with y'all, at what point will any politician say, I messed up? I should have never said be a sanctuary city. I should have advocated for my president to close the border so we wouldn't be doing this. I should have said it. I should have played it differently. I thought that Biden was going to save me, but he ain't going to save me. And so now, because of my bad leadership, because let me tell you something, complaints go up, they don't go down. Because of my bad leadership, and it's okay to say you messed up or you made a mistake and then pivot. Hey, listen, we not a sanctuary city no more. I thought we was going to get some money. I thought I was going to play it politically and then Biden was going to have my back because he had my back during the pandemic when we tried to get him elected. We got him in office. He never returned the favor. When are you going to have a politician to be honest? Listen, if Trump proved to y'all anything, especially when you having a conversation and you starting to understand that he's literally leading in the polls over Biden right now. The best thing that could have ever happened to Trump was that he didn't get elected this previous election. So now you got an opportunity to really see what you got in office. And you got your borders knocked over. And everybody is leaving trash over there in Arizona as they continue to cross the border with no border patrol. If anything could have happened that worked in Trump's favor is the fact that y'all really got y'all another Biden administration. I'm sorry, another Obama administration. Because it showed you that you weren't appreciative. And so what happened was now you see people, they don't want politicians speak. They don't want you to tell them what it is that they want to hear. They want you to rip the Band-Aid off, tell me it's going to hurt, but just tell me how it is that we can get better in the end. That's all they want. Inflation out of control. Sanitation is bad. Rats is running around in New York. Migrants is taking up all of the hotel rooms. Visitation from other countries and tourism is down because we don't want to be standing next to no migrants. Tent cities is bad. Real estate is too high. People can't afford to live. Public transportation is horrible. People stealing out of Target and shoplifting. Theft is out of control. Crime is running rampant. Everything is just going bad all across the board, even to the point to where Cardi B said, I don't want to endorse nobody. And you sitting here talking about it's his fault. They saying it's your fault. And then you acting like a scoring side chick, going to visit and knocking on the door. And he's saying that, listen, go and talk to my mama. They treating you like a side chick, family. They're treating Eric Adams like a side chick, a scoring side chick that just got broke up. And he said that I'm not leaving my wife. You came unannounced. You was not invited to come to Washington, D.C. to talk to me, and I'm not giving you no more money. I'm not giving you no more money. You came unannounced. Hey, Ma, tell her I'm not here. You still in the basement playing video games?
Change. It is clear that for the time being, this crisis is going to be carried by the cities. Here in New York City, as you know, we had a very painful November plan that we had to produce, and now we're looking forward or in the direction of how do we address the $7 billion budget deficit that we have to address in January. And these men and women behind me who are service providers in some way or another, they see firsthand of what these cuts are doing and will do. This is not the budget we want to pass. The budget we wanted to pass clearly invested in children and families and those who are in need. No. We are at an untenable.
Invested in children and families and those that are in need is literally a white lie. What he's saying to you is we invested in migrants. We gave them free health care. Okay. We gave them places to live in hotel rooms at exorbitant rates, and we spent the money continuing to make all of the contractors and the hotel owners, all of that. We made them richer. Okay. He's saying that we made sure that we fed them, we clothed them, we gave them shelter, we gave them everything. We even let and advocated for people to open up their homes to these people because we stood on business and said that we're a sanctuary. No, you didn't give it to the people. You gave it to people who you didn't even know was coming in there. And then Texas said, oh, okay, you want to be the tough guy? Let me get a bus up there, divert a couple back more to Chicago, send some over to Denver, Atlanta. Here you go. Yeah, you ain't want to get tough on the border. So that's what you mean. Translation for the people that's in the streets, for the people, the C students like myself, this is the C student translation of what he's saying.
Situation right now, and it is painful for us. It is painful for the city.
It hurt.
And I think that you see.
That's the same thing that she said. It's it hurt. It's painful. I know.
It being reflected in the polls. It is because our federal government actions have taken a toll. on the people of this city.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do our job in this administration, but these are extremely challenging times. And as I left Washington, D.C., I did not leave with optimism. I left with the cold reality that help is not on the way in the immediate future. It is going to be, at this moment, it's going to be up to New Yorkers and this administration to continue to navigate this challenge that we're facing.
It's going to be a lot of flower bringing and slow singing over in New York. It's going to be a lot of flower bringing and slow singing over in New York. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Eric Adams is telling you. He's warning you. He said, listen, it's going to be rough out here in these streets. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. Don't worry, I ain't forget about you, Houston. I got something for y'all. Tia Marie 2 says, wasn't there just at a syphilis outbreak. Hold on, Tia. Don't worry about it. We know that Houston, right behind Atlanta, is leading the syphilis outbreak, and that women are getting bust down, and then they having children, and then their kids is having problems seeing, because that is one of the symptoms that come along with it. We know over in Houston that there is a severe syphilis chlamydia combination that is happening amongst our women. But we not going to get there yet. I'm intimately familiar with what's available in Houston. They certainly got syphilis on deck. That's a fact. That's a fact, though. Jason Statham says, Olajuwon, Moon, and now Whitmire is all Houston had. Yeah. Nope. That's not misinformation. That's a fact, though. Don't worry. We definitely going to bring y'all to the front of the congregation. Rod Jones says Jordan would have loved to won 8 straight. That's a fact, though. But we all know that David Stern sat him down, and I'm not going to say why, but we all know, listen, if you want to catch something on fire, go over to Houston. Mr. Lone Star says you got to go to Houston. You got to go to a Houston Toto party. You go to Dallas. Nah, Houston is where they had Mocha Fest. Remember that? Remember when that video went viral and they had to take it off of TikTok and Instagram? Houston was where they just had Mocha Fest. It was a bunch of people spreading all of their diseases, doing everything that they... Listen, if you want to go to Sodom and Gomorrah, go to Houston and Chicago. If you want to go to Sodom and Gomorrah, one of them is corrupt publicly, the other one is corrupt from the residents, then go ahead and pick one. Sodom is Houston, Gomorrah is Chicago. Mr. Lone Star says, Mocha Fest, Mocha Fest, Houston, Byron Nelson, Classic Dallas, enough said. Oh, we going to get there. We going to get there. I know that y'all thought that y'all was going to get through this unscathed because you thought I forgot. You thought I forgot. Yeah, you thought I forgot. I didn't forget. Atlanta Junior. Y'all want to be just like Atlanta. Don't worry, I got you. Let me get to this money first. Theft, robbery, store closures. Now, let me preface this part of the show by saying that, and make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Yeah, Houston, y'all time is coming. I wasn't even going to focus on y'all. I had Denver in my sights. Denver was the next up to the congregation once we got done with Chicago. But you wanted to skip the line, huh? All right. Okay, I got you. Let me preface this by saying that this next part of the show can be a little bit sad. Now, if you are sensitive to tragic stories and you don't want to see the reality of what's happening out here in these streets, let me preface this by saying that you might want to go ahead and move on and just prepare for the Q show tonight on the Anton Daniels channel, because we going to get it popping tonight. All right? But it's bad out here, y'all. I'm not paying attention to what Osriola is saying. I'm about to take her wrench in a minute. Nah, I ain't gonna take Osriel Wrench. I love Osriel. Just one of the ones that actually show up to all of the meetups. Awesome, sweet-spirited girl. Just a little bit confused about what it is that she should be sending me inside of my email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. But let me go ahead and get over to this part of the show. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping.
Oakland, where police say a security guard working inside a 7-Eleven was killed last night during a robbery. That's the second deadly shooting at an Oakland 7-Eleven this week. Monday, somebody was killed in the Lake Merritt area, and last night's incident was across the lake at Harrison and Bay. Dahlin has the details.
Police say there are more than 110 homicides in Oakland so far this year. The latest victim is a beloved security guard. His daughter came to the scene and broke down on the sidewalk. An emotional and gut-wrenching scene in front of 7-Eleven. A young woman devastated over the killing of her father.
My mom's dead too.
She goes by the
Let me play this again for y'all because y'all really not understanding what's happening out here. Listen to what she's saying.
Young woman devastated over the killing of her father.
My mom's dead too.
I want to sear this into your head. Her father was a security guard at a 7-Eleven. And you monsters in the community. And you need to see who your victims are. I know you don't care. I know you feel like you can just do whatever it is that you want to do when you want to do it. Her mother is already passed away. And then somebody took her father, who was just going to work every day and doing his job. And now you have a woman who did not ask for any of this, mourning the death of her father because y'all wanted to come in there, rob, steal, kill, ruin the community, and you don't care anything about the lives that you affecting as a result of it. I pray to God, anybody that's out here doing crime, I want you to sear this into your memory. I want you to hear the cries of the people whose lives you upend and affect. A security guard, family? Come on, y'all. We all want to be PC. We want to be politically correct. We want to say it. Hey, don't say that it was a riot. Say that it was a large gathering, because I don't want y'all to be unfairly stereotyping a group of people that just want to wear face masks over in Philadelphia, and they killed a security guard over there too. At a Macy's store in Philly. This is Oakland. City to city, state to state. They're destroying, listen, y'all, your friends and your family and the people that y'all refuse to snitch on, or you don't want to raise them right, or they're being raised in these households where they're basically raising themselves because you wanted to open up your legs to the men that you should have never been with in the first place, are destroying. They're destroying our communities, and you are supporting them. You support them in the comments. You support them on Instagram, TikTok. When you validate bad behavior, you support them by not holding them accountable. You support them by having children out of wedlock. And every day, on the hour, on a regular basis, because it's not highlighted on the news. And so for you, it's out of sight, out of mind. There's somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's mother, somebody's father, uncle, auntie, cousin, friend, best friend, co-worker is taken away, or they get their stuff taken, and you're ruining your own environment, and you're going to have to be accountable for that. Let me tell you, this is the worst part about it, right? The worst part about it is I know y'all think y'all got away with it because you use the excuse as though you don't believe in spirituality or religion in order to justify your behavior. And so you say, well, I'll pay for it when it's over. No, you're going to pay for it now, and you're going to pay for it then, because you're going to pay for it dearly. Every single thing that you do on this earth, you're going to have to be accountable for it, good or bad. Your daddy didn't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you directly. Everything you do on this earth, you're going to have to be accountable for it. Everything. The people that you affect, the lives that you take, the people that you steal from and you try to justify it by saying, well, I didn't have anything, so they can't have it either. The people that you hate on, every single thing that you do on this earth in order to prevent somebody from being successful, from hating on somebody, taking their stuff, taking their lives, poisoning your communities, continuing to perpetuate and promote all of this trash, gang violence and culture, and this trash community that we continue to pedestalize as though it's good for us, you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for everything that you did on this earth. If you never heard it before, you're hearing it now. Let me play the rest of this story.
She goes by the name Snow and says the security guard was 59-year-old James Johnson. I was interviewing a longtime customer when we heard screams in the background.
I'm talking to James all the time, you know. He's a good person. I'm very sad because I don't see no anymore James.
People were walking past her, so I went up to check on her to make sure she was okay.
People just walk past. They don't even check on you no more. We've become so desensitized to what is happening in our environments and our communities that people don't even trip. They just walk past you. You could be in the street breaking down, about to get hit by a car, and ain't nobody checking for you. You know why? Because this is our new norm. You could be sitting there, bawling your eyes out, and people don't even think twice about you. Won't even offer you a tissue. Won't even offer you a tissue.
Police say just after 10 o'clock on Friday night, someone shot the guard inside the store as he tried to stop a person from taking merchandise. Police say James died at the scene. Snow says her father worked at the store for roughly 2 years. He lived in a building right behind 7-Eleven.
He was protecting the family at 7-Eleven because I know how my father is. He would do that for anyone he cared and loved.
She and longtime customers described James as a protector and a kind man.
He was a great man. He was a very great man.
James is the good person, good for the community, and this guy, you know, help to everybody and take care of everybody here.
He was a nice man, giant man, pretty tall, and he would talk to everyone that came in.
Criminals have repeatedly targeted 7-Eleven stores in Oakland. On Monday, investigators say someone killed a man pumping gas at the International Boulevard store. 2 weekends ago, witnesses say 8 gunmen robbed a cigarette delivery driver and a security guard.
Look at who they are. Look at who they are, y'all. You know who your sons and your fathers and your baby daddy and your cousins are. Somebody watching this, whether it be on the news, because you know that they study. Look. All you got to do is pull up their IP address. They either revisit the scene of the crime or they go online to see what was reported because they know what they did and they want to see what it is. And they're going to relive it in a moment because they didn't even think twice about it. Somebody watching this right now, it is a strong possibility. If you looked at Mind Hunters and you understand FBI profiling and investigations and First 48 and read any kind of book or did any kind of study, you know that often they play and rewatch the scene of a crime and then they see this stuff and then they relive it within themselves and get a euphoric moment and a dopamine hit similar to how it is that you get likes on Instagram. They might even get off as a result of it. That's what the FBI profiler said. Somebody knows who do this. Somebody knows who's robbing. Somebody knows who's killing. They robbing a cigarette guy, bro. The delivery driver that's sending the stuff, you're not safe over in Oakland. You're not safe in California. You're not safe in a lot of these cities that they then advocate for you to. Jesus Christ.
In front of the Grand Avenue 7-Eleven. And a few months ago, a gunman robbed the MacArthur Boulevard 7-Eleven of cash and cigarettes.
Oakland is danger right now, so needed to change.
Snow says her mother, Julie, died 10 months ago. She has few family members left. She wants justice.
She died 4 days before my birthday. And I just found out from my little brother that my dad died.
Investigators have surveillance footage of the kill.
If anybody can find this woman, gosh, I hate to do this. I'm such a sucker. I'm such a sucker. If anybody can find this woman's information, send it to me. If anybody can find this woman's information, send it to me. And I'll see what I can do. Because I'm tired of just reporting on stuff. I'm tired of just bringing visibility of it. But we need to see what's really happening out here because these monsters is taking lives and stuff. So if anybody, I know it's over 2,000, over 2,100 people in here watching it. If you can find this girl's information, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. And we'll see what we can do. I hate these dudes. And stop telling me it's not okay to hate. It is. I hate sin. I hate evil. I hate the devil. I hate demons. I hate people that take advantage of other people and ruin their communities. I don't tell me that it's not. It's okay to hate. Let me read some of these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. Chris J says, should I do it now or do it later? Not. See, I didn't already pull on your heartstrings. Now you got to wait. Sportsaholic Gerard says, Texas Rangers located in Dallas, Arlington area are the current world champs. Yeah. I love Dallas. Dallas is actually one of my favorite cities. So shout out to Dallas. Chris J says, my condolences. That is so sad to hear every time. And it's so messed up because you know what's so messed up? You know what's so messed up is that tonight, today, tomorrow, somebody else's loved one will be taken away from them by somebody that don't value them. And then we continue to justify the behavior. David Okoye, well, let me read a couple of these super chats. Give me a second. Before I want to address one thing. Hold on. Because I like to interact with the show. David Adekoya says, Anton, you know the Blackity Black's about to say you only helping the white lady. Which is cool. I don't rock out with people based off of the color of their skin. I rock out with people based off of the content of their character. Will they also tell you that I just gave $21,500 over into everybody that pitched their businesses, and the overwhelming every last one of them was black? Will they tell you that too? Did they also tell you that I literally sent out over $21,000 last week to people that pitch me their businesses in order to be able to get them funding to help them vet through the ideas, and that I'm also helping and funding another business idea and taking equity in that business in order to support that young man? Do they also tell you that? Did they tell you about the people's funerals that I pay for inside of the Patreon? Did they tell you about people's rent that's about to get evicted that sent me messages that I pay for? Did they tell you that too? Did they tell you about the people that I support? Did they tell you about Natasha, that I help her businesses and she ain't even from here? She a black woman in Canada and that I help fund her business? Did they tell you about all of the women that I support? Did they say that I ain't got to prove myself? I ain't never got to prove myself. I ain't never got to prove myself. My numbers, my work, my receipts speak for themselves. Did they tell you about the volunteer work that I did last week? Not last week, the week before last. Doing homeless work. They ain't tell you about that part, did they? I'm not worried about people that talk. That's what they do for a living. They just talk. They just talk. It's a lot of people that talk, but very few people actually do. I pay my tithes to the community. I pay my tithes and offerings to the community. Between 10 and 20%. Tithes, I was taught as I was coming up, tithes is 10% of your earnings. I match it as offering, and I pay it to the people, and I invest in people's businesses without taking equity into it, and I do my volunteer work, and I make sure I get money out of the ATM every single day, and I pass it out to the community by hand. But then if I start to document it again, they're going to say, well, Anton, you just doing this for more visibility. Listen, I ain't got to talk about it. I really do it in real life. I really do it in real life. Everybody that even come into here, that come and do an interview with me, you can't, they'll tell you, Anton, fly me first class, put me up in the best hotels. I take care of my people. I look out for my people. Let me read a few more super chats and then we're going to get up out of here for the day. Alliance 757 says, we need to bring Pamela Price and these woke DAs to the front of the congregation. They are a huge part of the problem. Who is Pamela Price? Send that to me. Send that to me. Send me Pamela Price. I just want to see what's happening out here in these streets. Anton Daniels 413@gmail.com. Thank you, my friend. Hold on. Let me give a round of applause. Hold on. Look at Carrington. Look at Mr. Wells. Mr. Wells says, Anton, I got your back. Anton, I got your back. Listen, I appreciate everybody, so I'm always going to read super chats, even though I don't ask for them, but I always got to make sure that I acknowledge the people that hold me down and look out for me here on the Millionaire Morning Show on the Anton Daniels channel. And Carrington Wells, although other people, they support the platform or whatever it is that they give, and I'm appreciative of everything, I got to give you a special shout out because you didn't have to do it. You didn't even say anything. You just dropped that 100 ball and you held me down. So thank you, Carrington. Thank you for holding me down. I appreciate you for valuing what it is that we do over here. It does not go unnoticed. It truly does not go unnoticed. And I'm always incredibly thankful. And I never just skip over stuff. I always got to read every single one that everybody sends to me. Kung Fu Hustler says, people like this need to be underground instead of imprisoned. I agree with you, fam. Jawan Hart is in the building with the 20 ball, says, I get it, Anton. I'm sorry. Nah. Don't be sorry. Let's be vigilant. Let's be vigilant. Shout out to Jawan Hart. JC in the building says, Anton, not everybody who did bad things will pay. Example, Hitler committed suicide. Some KKK members were never punished. I'm agnostic now. Well, we can have that debate, and that's something that we'll talk about on After Hours because I want to have some conversations that go up that alley as far as my true thoughts, my true beliefs based off of what's going on in popular culture. I got some thoughts about that. All jokes aside, salute to you, AD. Hey, Chris, you know I've been rocking with you for a long time. You my guy. AL says, Detroit, is Detroit even a top city in its own state? Some say Lansing, definitely not top 5 in the Midwest. Look at the names that he said. Chicago, Kansas City, St. Louis, Omaha, and Milwaukee. Hold on. I got to get a whole nother thing for that one. Hold on. Great joke. Phenomenal joke. I appreciate that, Aaron. The biggest in the building says that doesn't change the Pearly pandering, bro. Pearl is my girl. Pearl ain't never did nothing wrong with me. She ain't never said nothing wrong to me, and she's always did nothing but add value into my life. And hopefully I reciprocated, so Pearl is still my girl because I stand with the people that stand with me and I rock with her, and so we still interact with each other and have conversations behind the scenes. So salute to Pearl. Still my girl. I don't care nothing about what these people saying. Listen, hey, you know what the funniest part about this biggest? Let me hit you with the beam. You know what the funniest part about it? Guess what? All of the people that went against me during that whole debacle, where are they now? All of those same people. Count them. Look at them. Ask yourself, every last one of those people that went against me, that had something to say negative about me, are they even still YouTubers? Do they even still have a platform, live stream? Do they have a presence? Is anybody even still checking for them? Do we even know what happened to these people? Listen. The race isn't given to the swift. It's given to he who endureth to the end. And let me tell you something. I will win. I am always going to win. All of these people that was out in the woodwork, where are they now? Go back and look at it. Go back and check the numbers. Go and check the numbers. We bigger than we ever been, but we don't go back and revisit the past. We just gonna let them do whatever it is that they do. We don't care nothing about them. We not gonna visit the past. We just gonna let them go ahead and get to work. Let them work. Let them do their jobs. I don't play it based off of how you feel at that time. I play it based off of what's going to happen in the future. The greatest way to address a hater is just to keep on winning. Where they at though? Oh, trust me. I'm so petty, I keep a whole list. And then every week, I go through and I check my list like Santa Claus. I'm checking it twice. And I just want to see where they at though. That's the honest. Listen, I cannot be any more honest. Honest to God. I keep a list. I'm never going to say no names because I'm moving in a whole nother direction. I keep a list and I keep track of the successes and the failures of those that went against me. I'm watching. I'll pay attention. Alliance is in the building. Says Pamela Price is the DA in Alameda County. Okay. Send me the information. I want to see what's happening out here in these streets. Mr. Lone Star is in the building. Says, did you address the Moore saying they're going Republican in Chicago? I didn't. I don't know anything about it. You got to send it to me. Brock is in the building. Says, pass a love offering. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate it. SS29. Shout out to my girl, Carrie. What up, Carrie? SS29 says, Anton, these stories bring tears to my eyes. I'm a white man. Shout out to my white men. Shout out to my wolves. Says, I'm a white man and I share your channel with all of my friends. You're a good man and a role model. Yeah. Shout out to my white audience out here in the building. I appreciate you, SS. The biggest says, true but pearly, included in those demonetized. Listen, I don't have nothing to do with whoever it is doing what on a platform. All we know over here is that we winners. I don't turn on my friends. I don't turn on the people that held me down. And I support people that support me. And that's just a fact, though. That's a fact, though. You're not going to get me to speak anything negative about anybody that has held me down in real life. And so it just is what it is. So I don't care nothing about that. I'm not sitting here counting nobody else's pockets. The only thing I am counting is my own numbers. All right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. We going up. We running it up. We going up. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also on top of that, Téagé Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Tune in to the live show tonight with me and Q on the Anton Daniels channel, and we are going to get it popping, all right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's keep score. Let's keep score because I'm keeping score. I'm keeping score, all right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's continue to go forward and up, forward and up. We're going to end 2024 with a bang, and then we're going to go into 2024 on fire. All right? I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Stay focused, my friends.